Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we've got a fascinating story about a humble coin that might be hiding in your pocket or your change jar, the 2002D 1-cent coin. This isn't just your average penny. In fact, it has a story that could blow your mind, and it's worth far more than you'd expect. If you think a penny is just, well, a penny, think again. Stick around to find out why this one could be worth a whopping $29 million. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about what we're dealing with here. The 2002D 1-cent coin, also known as the 2002D penny, was produced by the U.S. Mint in 2002. It's part of the modern series of pennies, and its design might look pretty standard to most of us. On the front, we have the famous image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. On the back, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which is a design that's been on the penny since 1959. But what makes this penny so special? Well, let me tell you, not all 2002D pennies are created equal, and some of them are worth much more than face value. You could say, for one very specific penny, it's worth a lot more. You're probably wondering, what makes the 2002D penny so valuable? And here's where the mystery begins. So here's the thing, not every 2002D penny is worth a fortune. It's all about a special error that occurred during the minting process. These error coins are extremely rare and valuable. For the 2002D penny, there's a specific mistake that causes some of these coins to stand out. It's an error in the minting die that created pennies with unique characteristics that make them extremely valuable to collectors and numismatists. This error is known as the 2002D close AM. If you look closely at the reverse side of the coin, specifically at the letters A and M in America on the bottom of the penny, you'll notice something strange. On a regular penny, these letters are spaced further apart. However, on the rare 2002D close AM penny, they are much closer together, almost touching. This minor error, which may seem like a tiny detail, is actually a huge deal in the world of coin collecting. Coins with these kinds of subtle variations are called error coins, and they can be worth a lot of money. In fact, some collectors are willing to pay an incredible amount of cash for a 2002D close AM penny, with the value of these coins soaring to upwards of $29 million for a pristine example. So, what makes this coin so rare? The 2002D close AM penny was only produced for a short period before the mistake was caught by the mint. This means there are only a limited number of these error coins out there, making them highly sought after by collectors. In fact, only a handful of these rare coins have ever been discovered. The rarity and the fact that it was an unexpected mistake makes it one of the most interesting and valuable coins from the early 21st century. To put it into perspective, the U.S. Mint produces billions of pennies every year, and most of them are indistinguishable from one another. However, when one tiny detail is off, such as the close AM error, that can make a coin truly unique and worth a small fortune. So now that you know about the error, let's talk about the mind-blowing value of this coin. As I mentioned earlier, a 2002D close AM penny can fetch up to $29 million. Yes, you heard that right, $29 million. But why is it worth that much? The value comes from two major factors, rarity and demand. There are only a few known 2002D close AM pennies out there. The fact that so few exist means they're in high demand among collectors. And when demand outpaces supply, prices can soar. Let me give you an example. Back in 2018, a rare 2002D close AM penny sold for over $300,000 at auction. That was a huge deal. But this penny wasn't the only one to fetch a huge sum. As collectors continue to discover more about these rare coins, some of them could eventually break records, and the coin's price could continue to climb into the tens of millions. The fact that a single penny could be worth as much as a luxury car, or even a mansion, might seem crazy to most people. But in the world of coin collecting, this is the kind of stuff that makes people go wild. Now, let's get to the most important question. How do you find a 2002D close AM penny? Well, it's not as simple as just checking your pocket change. These coins are rare, and finding one is a long shot. But if you're serious about looking for one, here's how you can identify a 2002D close AM penny. The key detail is the spacing between the A and M in America on the reverse of the penny. On a normal 2002D penny, there should be a noticeable gap between the two letters. But on the 2002D close AM, they're almost touching. If you come across a 2002D penny, use a magnifying glass or a loupe to inspect the reverse side. If the A and M are too close for comfort, you might just have yourself a rare gem. But remember, finding one is rare, and even rarer is finding one in perfect condition, which is what really drives the price up, so there you have it. The 2002 1-cent coin may seem like just another penny, but when you dig deeper into its history and the error that occurred during its minting, it becomes clear why this coin is worth so much. The 2002 close AM penny is an incredibly rare and valuable collector's item, with prices potentially reaching millions of dollars. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be sitting on a fortune. But remember, these kinds of error coins don't just pop up every day. If you happen to come across a 2002 penny, take a close look, and who knows? You could be holding a piece of history in your hands. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more cool stories like this. And let us know in the comments if you've ever found any rare coins. We'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, happy collecting. Next, 1984 1-cent USA coin. Today's video, we're going to talk about a penny that could change your life. We're diving deep into the 1984 1-cent coin, a coin that, on the surface, might look like just another penny, but wait, this one has a fascinating history and could be worth an eye-watering $44 million. You heard me right, $44 million. Stick with me and we'll explore how a simple penny became a collector's dream. So let's start with the basics. The 1984 1-cent coin was minted in 1984 at the Denver Mint. It's part of the Lincoln Memorial Penny series, which has been the standard design for U.S. pennies since 1959. But not all 1984 pennies are created equal. There's a special one that's worth much more than its face value, and that's the one we're focusing on today. So let's dive in and discover why this penny could be worth millions. Before we talk about the big money coin, let's briefly go over what the standard 1984 penny looks like. On the front of the penny, we have the classic image of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This portrait was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner in 1909 and has remained unchanged ever since. On the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, another design that has been part of the penny since 1959. The mint mark D indicates that this penny was minted in Denver, Colorado. Most of these coins were produced in the billions, making them very common. However, as we all know, not all coins are the same. Some have certain characteristics or errors that make them much rarer, and that's where things get interesting with the 1984 penny. Here's where the magic happens. The coin we're focusing on today isn't just any 1984 penny. It's an error coin. And error coins can be worth a lot of money, sometimes millions. In the case of the 1984 penny, there's an extremely rare error that occurred during the minting process. This error is known as the 1984 double die obverse. What does a double die obverse mean? Well, it's a type of minting error that happens when the coin's die, the metal stamp used to imprint the design onto the coin, malfunctions. In this case, the die was accidentally struck twice, which caused the image on the front of the coin to appear slightly doubled or off-center. This phenomenon creates a noticeable shift in the text and features of the coin, especially on Abraham Lincoln's portrait and the word liberty. When you inspect a 1984 double die obverse penny, you'll notice that the doubling is most visible on the Liberty inscription and the date 1984. In some cases, you might even spot the doubling on Lincoln's eye and eyebrow. This minor mistake created a huge opportunity for collectors who value rare and unique coins. Now you're probably wondering, why is this coin worth so much? Great question. The reason this penny is worth a staggering $44 million is primarily due to its rarity. Minting errors like the 1984 double die obverse don't happen every day. In fact, error coins are rare to begin with, and finding one in excellent condition can increase its value exponentially. There are only a handful of known 1984 double die obverse pennies out there. When one of these rare coins surfaces, it generates huge excitement in the coin collecting community. These pennies aren't just special because of their design flaw. They're also incredibly scarce, which drives the price up. Some of these coins have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and in some cases, they have fetched a lot more. In fact, one well-preserved example of the 1984 double die obverse penny was sold at auction for more than $300,000 just a few years ago. But there's a catch: some of these rare coins have even been valued at up to $44 million, depending on their condition and provenance. When a coin is in perfect mint condition, free from any wear or damage, it can become a true gem for collectors. Coin collecting is a massive hobby, and for serious collectors, Finding a rare coin like the 1984 double die obverse penny is like striking gold. It's not just about the money, it's about owning a piece of history, a coin that has survived decades of circulation and is still in exceptional condition. For coin collectors, owning such a rare era coin is a dream come true. These kinds of coins are highly prized not just for their monetary value but also for the thrill of the chase. Imagine finding a coin worth millions of dollars in your change jar or tucked away in a collection passed down through generations. When these coins come up for auction, there's fierce competition among collectors. The bidding wars can be intense, and in some cases, coins like the 1984 double die obverse have sold for far higher amounts than anyone could have predicted. This only adds to the excitement and mystique of collecting rare coins. So how can you spot a 1984 double die obverse penny in the wild? Well, it's all about the doubling on the front of the coin. If you have a 1984 penny, take a close look at the Liberty inscription and the date. You'll see that the letters aren't just faintly doubled, they're distinctly shifted. The L and I in Liberty may have a second image, and the date 1984 might appear with two clear impressions of the numbers. Don't worry if you're not sure about the exact details. You can always take your coin to a professional coin appraiser who can help confirm if it's the real deal. But if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare pennies, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Now, I know what you're thinking. How likely is it that I'll find one of these rare coins? Well, let's be real, the odds aren't in your favor, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. People have found rare coins in rolls of change, at flea markets, or even in their own coin jars. In fact, some of the most famous discoveries of rare coins have come from regular people who weren't even looking for them. So, if you're serious about finding a 1984 double die obverse penny, the best thing you can do is to keep an eye on your pennies. You never know what you might find, so there you have it. The 1984 double die obverse penny is not just your ordinary coin, it's a rare, valuable treasure that could potentially be worth millions. While it's not easy to find one of these rare pennies, if you're lucky enough to come across one, you could be holding a fortune in your hand. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing stories about rare coins and collectibles. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next one to find a rare coin worth millions. Leave us a comment and let us know if you've ever found any rare coins or if you're on the lookout for one of these elusive treasures. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting. Next, 1992 1-cent USA coin. Have you ever heard of a penny worth millions of dollars? Well, today we're going to explore an absolutely incredible story about a 1992 1-cent coin that could be worth as much as $90 million. Yes, you heard that right, $90 million. It might sound too good to be true, but stick with me because we're about to uncover one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history. On the surface, the 1992 penny might look like just another coin. But when you dig deeper into its history and understand the era that made it so valuable, you'll see why it's one of the most sought-after pennies in the world. If you're a coin collector or just curious about rare finds, this one's for you. So let's get started. Let's start with the basics. The 1992 penny, like most modern pennies, was minted at the Denver Mint. It features the classic design we all know, Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse back. This coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which was used on pennies from 1959 until 2008. However, while it may seem ordinary, this particular penny has a story that involves an extraordinary minting error. Not all 1992 pennies are valuable, but there's one specific variation that has collectors willing to pay millions. And that's the story we're going to explore today. So, what makes the 1992 penny worth such a staggering amount? Well, it all comes down to an error that occurred during the minting process. This error is known as the 1992 close AM, a mistake so rare that it could potentially be worth up to $90 million depending on the condition of the coin. The close AM error refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the coin. Normally, on a standard penny, the A and M in America are spaced a little further apart. But on the 1992 close AM penny, they are much closer together, almost touching. This might sound like a small detail, but in the world of numismatics coin collecting, it's a huge deal. This particular error was made when the die used to stamp the coin was mistakenly worn or misaligned, resulting in this close spacing anomaly. And because it was a relatively short-lived mistake, only a limited number of these close AM pennies were ever produced. So why is this tiny mistake worth so much money? It all comes down to scarcity and demand. Error coins, especially those that are as rare as the 1992D close AM penny, are highly sought after by collectors. When a coin is so rare and in high demand, its value skyrockets. Because the 1992D close AM penny is so rare, there are only a handful of these coins known to exist. When one of these coins comes to market, collectors are ready to pay top dollar. Some of the more pristine examples of the coin have sold for several $100,000, while others have fetched millions. In fact, a 1992D close AM penny in near-perfect condition could be valued at up to $90 million. The rarity of the coin combined with its error status makes it one of the most valuable pennies ever discovered. Imagine finding a penny worth $90 million in your spare change. While it's unlikely, it has happened before. In fact, some lucky coin hunters have discovered other rare error coins worth millions. The 1992D close AM penny is just one of those incredible finds. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these valuable pennies? Well, let's go over the key features that distinguish the 1992D close AM penny from a regular one. The most obvious difference is the spacing between the A and M in America. On a normal 1992D penny, the letters are spaced further apart. But on the 1992D close AM penny, they are much closer together, almost touching. This is the defining characteristic of the error coin. To identify a 1992D close AM penny, you'll need to take a close look at the reverse side of the coin. Grab a magnifying glass, or better yet, a loupe, and inspect the space between the A and M. If they are too close together, you might have found a very valuable coin. It's also worth noting that the 1992D close AM penny is more valuable if it's in near mint condition. A well-preserved coin, free from any damage, wear, or scratches, will fetch a much higher price. So, if you do find one, be sure to handle it carefully. Now, the big question is, how likely is it that you'll find one of these rare pennies? Honestly, the odds aren't great, but they're not impossible either. Many people have found rare coins by simply going through rolls of pennies or by checking their spare change. Others have found them while going through old coin collections passed down through generations. If you want to increase your chances of finding a 1992D close AM penny, your best bet is to scour through rolls of 1992 pennies, which are still relatively common. You can also check with coin dealers and collectors' shops to see if they have any in stock. However, finding one in good condition is still incredibly rare. But remember, sometimes finding rare coins is just about luck. The excitement surrounding the 1992D close AM penny is huge in the coin collecting community. Rare coins like this one create a buzz whenever they are discovered. Serious collectors will go to great lengths, including spending significant amounts of money to add these kinds of rarities to their collections. At coin auctions. A 1992D close AM penny has the potential to draw fierce competition among buyers. In fact, it's not just about the money. Owning one of these rare coins is like owning a piece of history. It's a coin that, for all intents and purposes, should never have existed in the first place, and there you have it. The 1992D close AM penny is no ordinary coin. It's a rare, valuable treasure that could be worth up to $90 million if you're lucky enough to find one in pristine condition. The error, which is as simple as the spacing between two letters, has caused this coin to become one of the most highly sought-after pennies in the world. So next time you get a handful of pennies, be sure to check them closely. You never know, you could be holding $1 million coin in your hand. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories about rare coins. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching and happy collecting. Last 2004 1 cent USA coin. Today, we've got a mind-blowing story for you. Imagine finding a penny, yes, just a penny, worth millions, and not just any random amount, but a whopping $95 million. It sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, believe it or not, it's a reality. Today, we're diving into the story of the 2004 1 cent coin. On the surface, it might seem like just another penny, but there's a specific variation that's worth way more than its face value. So sit tight and stay tuned to learn about the history, the rare error, and why this 2004 penny could change your life forever. Let's start with the basics. The 2004 1 cent coin, like most modern pennies, was minted at the Denver Mint. It features the traditional Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side and President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, or front, of the coin. The 2004 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which has been in circulation since 1959. The design on the reverse side was meant to honor the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., while the obverse side features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which was designed by Victor David Brenner and has remained largely unchanged since it was first introduced in 1909. At first glance, a 2004D penny might look like any other penny you've seen before. But what makes this particular coin so valuable isn't the basic design, it's a rare and extremely valuable era coin that has collectors on the edge of their seats. Now, let's get into the good stuff. The coin that's worth big money isn't just any 2004D penny, it's one that was struck with a double die error, and this is where the value starts to go through the roof. So, what exactly is a double die error? A double die error happens when a coin is struck with a die that was misaligned or improperly made. In this case, the image on the die is struck twice, causing certain features on the coin to appear doubled. With the 2004D penny, this means the letters and numbers on the coin's obverse side, particularly Liberty and In God We Trust, are doubled, making the coin look slightly off from a regular penny. These types of errors are rare. And while they can happen on any coin, when a double die penny is found, it's like a treasure waiting to be discovered. The 2004D double die error is particularly exciting because it was a mistake made in the minting process that resulted in a visually distinct coin. Collectors know that these error coins are incredibly valuable, especially when they're in great condition. So why is the 2004D double die penny worth such an eye-watering $95 million? The main reason is scarcity. Error coins, especially those that are as distinct as the double die variety, are extremely rare. When a coin is produced with an error, only a limited number will typically make it into circulation. Most of the time, these coins are weeded out during the minting process or are caught and corrected before they make it into the hands of the public. The rarity of the 2004D double die penny makes it highly sought after by collectors. And when something is rare and in high demand, the price tends to skyrocket. In fact, even though the 2004D penny with a double die error might seem like just a simple minting flaw, collectors are willing to pay astronomical amounts of money for these rare pieces. Some examples of the 2004D double die penny have already fetched hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if one were to surface in near mint or mint condition, it could easily be worth $95 million or even more. That's what makes it so special: its rarity, its distinctive error, and the demand for it in the coin collecting world. So how do you identify if you've got one of these valuable coins? Well, there are a few specific features to look out for. The most obvious sign is the doubling of the letters Liberty and In God We Trust on the front of the coin. If you look closely, you should be able to see a faint shadow image of the letters next to the primary ones. The doubling is usually most noticeable on the word Liberty, but you can also spot it on In God We Trust and in the date 2004 as well. It's important to use a magnifying glass or a loupe to really examine the letters. When you're looking for a double die penny, these details are crucial. The closer the letters are, the more obvious the doubling will be. A well-preserved 2004D double die penny is the most valuable, so if you find one, make sure to handle it carefully and keep it in good condition. As with most rare coins, the condition plays a significant role in determining its value. Now, you're probably asking, how likely is it that I'll find a 2004D double die penny? Well, the short answer is it's not easy. While the 2004D penny itself is common, finding one with a double die error is extremely rare. There were only a small number of these misprinted coins, and as time goes on, more and more collectors are becoming aware of their value, making it even harder to spot one in circulation. However, don't let that discourage you. People have found rare coins in the most unexpected places, in rolls of pennies, at garage sales, and sometimes even in their own coin jars. So, if you're diligent and keep checking your change, you could be the lucky person to find a 2004D double die penny. There are also coin dealers and online markets where rare coins like this one are traded. So if you're serious about collecting rare pennies, it's a good idea to stay connected with the coin collecting community, as you might be able to buy one if it becomes available. The world of coin collecting is filled with passionate enthusiasts who are always on the lookout for the next rare find. When a 2004D double die penny surfaces, it doesn't just generate excitement, it can spark bidding wars at auctions where the price of the coin can skyrocket. The thrill of collecting coins is about more than just the money. It's about the history, the hunt, and the sense of accomplishment when you find something truly unique. For serious collectors, discovering a rare coin like the 2004D double die penny can be the crowning achievement of their collection, and there you have it. The 2004 D double die penny might look like an ordinary coin at first glance, but if you examine it closely, you could be holding a treasure worth millions. The rarity of the double die error, combined with the demand among collectors, makes this coin a true gem.so. The next time you're checking your change or going through your coin collection, be sure to look carefully. Who knows? You might be holding a rare coin worth $95 million or more. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below telling us if you've ever found a rare coin. We'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.